Afternoon, guys. Welcome to another Q&A session here at Ungex headquarters. I'm Jared, and today it's going to be a particular format that we do. It's definitely going to be a Q&A today. Look, I've had overwhelming amount of questions sort of come in, and there's a particular set that I want to focus on, and it's got a lot to do with Ungex's protocol and how to follow it specifically and get the best results in a shorter amount of time. Now, guys at home, you'll have to forgive me today. I'm going to be reading a fair bit, and the reason is it's a very specific group of questions, and I want to answer them on every single point that I can. So these aren't just my answers. This has come from the R&D team, and it's also been discussed between myself, the managing director, and one of the other head Demodex consultants as well. So pretty good knowledge base here, guys, coming at you at home. I just before I begin, I just want to remind you guys, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. It really helps us here. If you ask any questions in the comments, I'll try and answer those as well. I've got a fair bit to get through. I know Malachi is going to be tuning in, so mate, if you've got any questions, please pop them up. If I can't get to them today, I'll either try and follow up with you tomorrow over the phone or online, or what I'll do is I'll actually do a video next week where maybe me and you just sit there with a Q&A. We'll get a list of questions together and we'll go through them one by one. But I'll try and get to them today if I see them pop up on the screen. But please bear with me. I've got heaps to get through today. So yeah, I'll also say before I kick off the Q&A session, guys, Ungex HQ, we've actually got a 2-for-1 offer going on at the moment until the 1st of July. What that means is any product that you order, whether it be a bundle, whether it be an essential kit, whether it be just an individual product, for every one that you order, you'll receive 2. And I think there's still a few left now. It was for the first 100 orders, and they actually nearly smashed through the first 100 orders really quickly. So yeah, there's a few left though. So guys, if you wanted to start your skincare journey today, if you're dealing with any of those issues that we talk about all the time in these Q&As, your blepharitis, your rosacea, dermatitis, your dandruff, your eczema, your pimples, feel free to get in contact with us at HQ or our 24/7 team. We're always happy to answer questions for you guys. All right, let me kick it off then, please. The first question I've got is, why is avoiding external external and oral ivermectin and also external permethrin better than using it in conjunction with the Ungex protocol and product? Now, I actually did a live video that went for about 24 minutes the other day about ivermectin and its uses, the side effects that it has, and I'll touch on those points again really quickly now. Sorry for anyone who was tuning into those where I'm sort of doing this one a little bit to death. It's also in the protocol guide a little bit, but just to address that, and I'll break it down. So firstly, one of the most important things about the oral ivermectin and the externally used one is that it actually changes the habits of the mites. So there's 2 types of mites that we deal with in relation to Demodex. There's Phylocorum, they're the ones that are sitting underneath the hair follicle, and there is brevis, and they're the ones that sit in the sebaceous gland and underneath the skin. So firstly, we know that once it's ingested or once it's used on the skin, these mites actually change their habits. So whereas they come out in great abundance at nighttime, during the day they're avoiding the UV rays, and at night they're coming out onto the skin. So they're propagating, they're going back under the skin to lay their eggs, but at night time, yeah, they're generally mating and eating the oil and the fats that are produced naturally, and also put on the skin by other products that can be used as well. So that's one of the reasons. Now, the permethrin, there's other reasons for that as well. One of the main ones is that we know that it can't be used for blepharitis, and the reason that it can't be used for blepharitis is because you can't apply it on the eye, around the eye, in the eyelashes, and of course it's unable to be successfully used in conjunction with a HFI, which means you can't get it deep into the skin, so you can't get it subdermally, you can't get it underneath the hair follicle, you can't get it into the places where we need to get the PDT and the other products we use to actually clean away the bacteria that the mites are spreading, which is another point on its own. So one of the other things is the topical ivermectin. It may contain oils and fats that feed mites, And the reason that we state this is because of issues we've had with it in the past, dealing with clients on a one-on-one basis. And I always say to any of my clients who've been using the ivermectin, other steroids and other type of antibiotics as well, that generally it's a 3-month minimum treatment period. For anyone who hasn't been using, anyone who has, then the downside is that it's going to add at least an extra month to your treatment period. Yes, we can still kill the Demodex mites, but because they're not coming to the surface of the skin in as great of abundance, what that means is that it's going to take an extra amount of time. So we're not killing as many at night time when we use the PDT spray. So that's one of the things. And one of the other things is that the topical ivermectin, so the one that's a cream, it's not actually designed for use against Demodex at all. So what that means is it's not formulated by an R&D team. It's not formulated by the doctors or the scientists who make it to kill Demodex itself. And therefore, we know that it can contain those oils and fats that feed the mites. And its actual original formulation was for use not on humans at all. So it's actually a veterinary product. So it's not something that we advise here. And that's why we say, another reason why we say it's not to be used in conjunction with the Ungex protocol. So I hope that does make sense. So also it has the ability to, it does because it's got antibiotic properties. It is an antibiotic. So we know that those antibiotics lower the immune system. So what happens when the immune system drops in relation to people suffering from Demodex mite, heavy population densities and overpopulation densities, is that they'll actually increase in number when the immune system goes down. So yes, there might be some effects at the start that are positive, and they're having some relief from symptoms initially using it. However, we always liken it to the Band-Aid for a bullet wound, where you might not see as much activity on the surface, but internally and further down the line, it's going to create more problems than what it solves. So that's why. So like I was saying, I actually did a live video on it on this ivermectin in particular, going back, I think it was a week or two ago. So you guys can go back through the feed and see those live videos and get heaps more information about ivermectin. I think I spoke about it for around 20 minutes then. So I'll move on to the next question. So why are the different protocols? And why do we alter them for every individual? And it's exactly for that reason. So everyone's different, and anyone dealing with a higher population density of Demodex mites than is usual and experiencing different symptoms, we like to alter the protocol for them individually when we need to, so as to provide them with the quickest relief from symptoms as we possibly can, and to help them kill the mites as fast as we possibly can as well. So everyone reacts different to an overpopulation of Demodex mites, and there's different skin types that we have to cater for as well. So that's all taken into account. So I suppose the other thing that I'd mention as well, the different protocols, it's designed for Demodex in human skin, so it's not designed for Demodex on animals, although it is safe. We know that it's safe to use on dogs suffering from Demodex mange. So it's also another one of the reasons why we have a 24/7 team in place. Now, killing Demodex mites and reducing their infestations in humans, it's not an easy thing to do. Now, this is a microscopic subdermal parasite, predominantly subdermal parasite, I'll correct myself, that can survive for 52 hours without contact with the host skin, just encapsulated in the oil that it's producing itself or that it's taking from its host. So that's something that I stress all the time as well. Different protocol, we have to mix it up a little bit to help fight them and kill them. And the reason is we're dealing with something that's actually really quite hardy and hard to kill. So that's that. And it's another reason why we have the 24/7 team. It's one of the reasons why I'm on here doing the live videos all the time and trying to connect with you guys. Yeah, so I've just had another question come in, so I'll just cut this for a second. I have a question. If I stop using the product, what happens? Now, it depends on at what point you stop using the product. Like, obviously, talking about not using the product anymore, Malachi, and what I'd point out there is the treatment period, I know particularly for yourself, it's not completed. So if you were to stop using the product before the treatment period was completed, I'd say somewhere within 6 to 12 weeks, your symptoms that you were suffering from initially, they won't be relieved, and you'll actually be back where you started. So, and if you want to continue with the product at that point, you've got to start the protocol from the beginning again. So definitely not advised. What we want is that 3-month commitment. It's a 3-month minimal treatment plan. The hair loss is one of the things that takes the longest to actually treat and to start improving. Now, some people have great improvement within the 3 months. Some people will relieve the symptoms at the end of that period, and some people, if they've been taking ivermectin, if they've been taking other things, we know that it's going to take an extra amount of time, and that's always quoted to you guys at home. So I'll just jump back into why the different protocols with the last statement I make about it, and it's one of the reasons why we have the support group set up for you guys at home as well, and that's so that you can connect with each other and figure out who has similar symptoms or how different and varied the symptoms can be. So I think that addresses that one. So the third question that I wanted to answer is, do the mites behave different on the scalp, the body, and the face? So in answering this question, I'd need to go over once again the different types of mites. So we've got Demodex falciparum, they're the ones that are sitting underneath the hair follicle, and then we've got Demodex brevis, so they're the ones that are in the sebaceous gland and underneath the skin. So obviously the ones that are sitting underneath the hair follicle, they're doing damage in those places, and the ones that are sitting subdermally underneath the skin, they're causing issues in those places. So there's another live video I did about the difference in the two types of mites and some of the issues that they can actually cause. So please, guys, refer back to the other live videos, check your protocol, or email us directly for more on that, and we just refer a direct link to you to the live video where I spoke about that for quite some time. And in the future, I'll be doing another video about the different types of mites again, and the different parasites. I think a week ago I did a live video about different types of parasites as well, so that'd be of interest to anyone who's been wondering about that too. So question 4 that's come in is, what is the point of putting clothes in the sun and or in the wind, and for how long? So the thing about the sun is, we know we give the mites direct exposure to the sun, we're actually able to eliminate them. That's why on humans, they will go subdermally. So they'll sit underneath the skin during the daytime, and that's why we target them with the PDT at night. So there's 12 hours that they'd survive in the sun around that. So that's the amount of time that we say we recommend you put your towels out in the sun or in the wind, and they can live off human contact for 52 hours. So one good thing you can do just with your laundry and with your bedding there is just rotate them over a 52-hour period, and then we know that cross-contamination can't actually occur. So question 5 is, for the face, can hyaluronic acid be used, and is there anything that should be avoided? So what I'd say about this is, it's in the protocol as well, guys. I do live videos about this too. I have touched on this subject in the past. That particular product itself is actually designed to help the skin absorb moisturizer and moisture actually better. Now, what I'd advise is that all these products are avoided because it does contain things that can feed the mites. So that's something that I stress all the time. Anything that can feed the mites, anything that isn't advised in the protocol or by your consultants, please avoid using those products. We don't want to see the population densities increase any further because you're providing the mites with the foods that they like. We don't want you to make your skin a positive environment. We want it to be a more hostile environment for the mites to try and survive in. So yes, like I said, just going over that again, all those products are designed to help the skin absorb the moisture. We use a device called the HF5. It's a high-frequency instrument, and that's what we use to get the product subdermally to attack the mites where they're living and where they try and survive. So avoid the use of other products. Contact your consultant if you're going to use anything else, and if they advise against it and you decide to keep using the product anyway, that is actually not following protocol. So if the protocol is not working and you're doing these things, please just get in contact with your consultant, speak to us, tune into the live videos, hit the like button, hit the subscribe so you don't miss any of this stuff, guys, because it's important for anyone going through the protocol and wondering if there's other things that they can do in conjunction with the protocol. But best advice is no, don't do things that aren't in conjunction with the protocol. Don't try and use other products as well. We know that sometimes some dry skin can occur. If this happens, consult with us, speak to your consultants, speak to the 24/7 team, please, guys, before you go off and do anything that would be breaching protocol, we don't want to see you guys. We want to help you in the best and quickest way that we possibly can. So please, yeah, if all else fails as well and you can't get in contact with someone, call the office, get online, jump on the 24/7 team. We're always happy to answer questions. But please don't go off and do anything different or outside of protocol before you've spoken to one of us. So, and worst case scenario, we'll arrange a callback time with your personal consultant. So I hope that carries that. Number 6 is what sunscreens can be used. Now, this is a really good question, and it's actually going to be the subject of my video next week. So don't forget to hit the, as I said, I want to keep engaging us. Please give us more questions for us to answer. It really does help. It keeps us engaged with you, and it helps us. If you ask them publicly, it's even better because we don't just answer them for you, we answer them for everyone else as well. So yeah, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe, especially if you want to answer some questions. You can hit us up directly, and then you'll know what the subject of the video is going to be about. And yeah, we'll do our best if you're online to answer the questions as they come up on the screens as well. I did see one from Malachi before. If you want to throw that up there again for me, mate, please do. I was in the middle of answering another one. The 7th question I've got is, can fractionated liquid spray coconut oil be used? Coconut oil is fantastic, bearing in mind it has to be organic, cold pressed, extra virgin coconut oil. Then yes, and the other thing that can be used as a moisturizer as well, or a conditioner, is castor oil. These are really good things. As I spoke before answering previous question, the skin can be dry during the protocol. It's one of the facts of life when we kill these mites. They're very tough. They're hardy. They're one of the hardiest external parasites to actually eliminate. So we'll worry about everything we can to sort of see if there's something that can be done with research and development in the future. For the meantime, bear with us. There is organic cold pressed coconut oil. It has to be extra virgin, and castor oil can be used as well. So sorry guys, just let me flip to my next page of questions, please. So the next one I have is, can sitting in the sun help to eradicate the mites? So unfortunately, when it comes to eradicating the mites, that would actually be more difficult to treat for some reasons if we're exposed to sun all the time. So if tanning beds do time, things like that. The problem with that is with the protocol the research and development team has come up with. Now, it's taken years to come up with. It's nailed really, really tightly, and we've got it to the point now where it's actually a fine art. Excuse me. So the PDT is actually used at night, and the reason it is used at night is because that's when the mites aren't hiding from the UV rays anymore. So they're not hiding from them. They're coming to the surface of the skin. That's when they're eating the oils and fats. That's when they're breeding, and that's when they're going back down underneath the skin when the sun comes out again in the morning. So we actually use the PDT that kills the mites on contact, and we use that at night time. So we use it when they're abundant and they're on the face. And that's why being exposed to the sun all the time, what happens with the mites is they just sit underneath the surface for longer. They lay their eggs and they sit there and they sort of go into a state of light hibernation, and they stay there. And that's what they do. They change their habits, and they change their habits, as I said earlier, when the topical ivermectins or pyrimethrin is used on the skin as well. So they'll hide under the skin during the day and they'll come out at night time. That's when we use the PDT, and that's one of the reasons why the protocol works. So I suppose following the protocol without deviating from the path is the fastest way to really avoid those sort of frustrations and to eliminate the high population densities of Demodex mites. So please, guys, stick with the protocol. Get in contact with us. If you're thinking about doing anything different or deviating, please get in contact with your consultant before you just change the protocol yourself, guys. So we want it to work for you. We want it to work really quickly. We want this to be something that's successful, and we want to help you be relieved of the symptoms that you're suffering from. So the next question I have, does a shower between times of shampooing with just water help to eradicate the mites? And does it matter if it's in the afternoon or in the morning, both, or not at all? Okay, so in the program, we talk about shampooing, and shampooing is done only when there's dirty skin. That's defined as when there's something to remove or when there's smell to remove from the skin. So when there's something physically there, when there's a smell that needs to be removed from the skin. And other than that, we're not going to be using any shampoos, soaps, conditioners, or other products that aren't advised in the protocol. And the reason is using shampoos and conditioners or other products, or even the Ungex products, overusing them can produce the oils and the fats on the skin that actually feed the mites and will cause them to increase in population density again. So we're not going to advise anything that's going to bring you guys backwards or that could possibly do that. So please stick with the protocol there. And if there isn't something to remove a smell or something physical to remove from the skin, then yes, absolutely still have showers. Now, we want you to do it at a temperature where it's warm, going to cool at the end, not hot, because the Demodex mites, they love the warm environment. That'll help them breed. That'll help produce the oils and the fats in your skin as well that they feed off. So the population densities can increase if you're having really hot baths or if you're having really nice and hot showers. So it's not a positive thing to do, even if it feels like at the time there might be some relief from some symptoms that you're suffering from. So what we say is shower with warm to cool water and massage those areas, the problem areas, just with the warm water with your fingertips. And that will eventually be relieving in line with the protocol as well. And that's the other thing. If there isn't something to remove from the skin, if there isn't a smell to remove, then you don't need to use those shampoos and the soaps. And it's actually a bad practice. And it's one of the reasons that these mites are increasing in population densities on wide ranges of people across the world, because it's actually bad habits that we have as humans. Just like back in the day, which sugar used to be very expensive, and it was something that people actually used as a toothpaste originally. So definitely not advised, and same as this. So Demodex mites can increase in population following humans' bad habits of overshowering with shampoos and conditioners. Just like over shampooing or over conditioning in the hair can remove the oils and fats that actually promote like good and healthy hair growth. It can lead to hair loss as well. So yeah, just in relation to that question again, please guys, read the instructions, the user guide, and the protocol. Speak to us here. Hit the like and subscribe button so that you're always with symptoms as quickly as we possibly can. So I'm up to my 10th question now, which is the best way to clean mites for clothes and bedding. So this question makes me want to jump back into the actual life cycle of the mites. Excuse me, guys. So life cycle of the mites is over 3 months. However, the important factor when asking this question is how long the mites can survive for off the human body. Now, we're talking because the mites will just go subdermally. Now, they're predominantly a microscopic parasite. So subdermally, that is where they're. So contact spray with PDT. So we're talking about linen and towels or bedding or pajamas, whichever you choose. If you contact spray with the PDT and you're putting these things back on, so especially for the ladies, bras, you're going to use them multiple days in a row, you can spray those. And likewise for anyone in the beauty or this is the fantastic thing about the PDT. It can be used as sterilizing equipment, all your stuff that you could cross-contaminate with. So your clippers, it could be used on HFIs. It can also be used on your scissors and your combs and things like that. So one thing that we do advise to stop people from burning through the PDT quickly, unless you guys want to at home, that's fine. We're happy to supply you more if you want to order it. Use pajamas instead of bedding. So the PDT can be used obviously more sparing in the pajamas, or you can have 3 sets of pajamas that you're alternating over a 52-hour period. And like I was saying, with the bedding or the pajamas, one of these things is enough. We're not saying that you need to do all these things in relation to each other to follow the protocol strictly. So, and the main thing to remember is that the mites can survive off human skin for 52 hours. So if you're alternating your bedding and in this time, or leaving them outside for that 12-hour period in the wind and the sun, that's a really, really good option for you guys. So, yes. 11th question is using THT on the body. I'm just going to answer this one really bluntly and really simply. It's in the protocol guide, so read your protocol. Using THT on the body, that's the treatment hair tonic? No. Read the instructions, refer to the live videos, go back through your user guide and your protocol. The answer to that question is just simply no. So it's designed for use on the scalp and in the hairline. So 12th question I've got is why not using the shampoos every day? Now, I know I've answered this already, but I want to take some time out to answer this question directly. Now, the reason we're not going to use the shampoo every day is because that's going to bring back those oils and fats. If we over shampoo and we over condition, that's a bad habit. That's something that humans are doing, and it's actually increasing the population of Demodex mites. So any product, even the shampoos that we use in line with our protocol, we don't use them too much because we don't want to give the mites those oils and fats to feed off. So it's designed to strip those oils and to sieve them away to feeding off. And to make it a hostile environment, not a positive one for them to increase in population density. So that's that. The 12th question is it better to use both shampoos or to switch them alternating the shampoos on shampooing days, and the purpose of that? So yes, we're going to switch use. So we don't use them both on the same day. That would be over shampooing, and that would encourage those oils and fats back on the surface that the mites are feeding off. So no, not on the same day. You're going to use one, and then alternatively, you're going to use the other one. Now, the purpose for this is, as I just stated earlier, we're going to remove those oils and fats from the surface of the skin that the mites are feeding off, and that's going to make it a more hostile environment for them to try and survive in. So that's really, really important. It's part of the protocol. So please, anyone answering this, you need to go back, asking this, sorry, you need to go back over your protocol. Especially subscribe to the videos and don't miss one. Because we're going to address that in the future more and more as time goes on as well. So the other thing is warm showers to cold. And the reason is because we don't want to establish that nice warm temperature that the mites can actually increase in population density in as well. So that's another thing that comes back to showering. So please warm to cool, and you'll have the fastest relief from symptoms. We'll get that die-off reaction happening the fastest if you're going to experience it, and that means that the mites are dying, and that's a positive thing. We know that the protocol is being successful and it's being implemented correctly when this is happening. So yes, the other thing about using them correctly is massage them in. Don't lather them. Don't leave them on the surface like you would a conditioner to soak in. We just want to get them on, remove any of the physical things or the smell that's on the skin, and then take them off. And that's going to do the job the best we can. Excuse guys, just going to change the questions up again. And another thing is, if the body's not dirty, is it better to skip the shower or do it with at least water and only showering on days between shampooing? So you can have as many showers as you like. Showering is great. We're only going to use the shampoos on the days that's been advised by the consultant or in line with the protocol. So refer back, once again, guys, please refer back to the protocol for these questions. This question is answered. If the body is not dirty, we don't need to apply the soap then. We don't need to apply the shampoo. We need to use the products on those days. However, it is really good to go from a warm shower to a cool one, and we want to massage the problem areas just with the fingertips with the warm to cool water on it, in that order, please. And when shampooing, when shampooing the body, should the shampoo be massaged into the skin? Yes, you can massage it in. We don't treat it like a conditioner where it's left in there for an extended period of time. So yeah, nearly at the end here, guys. So yes, massage. Don't leave the soap like a conditioner. I think I've got one more question for you guys I can answer as well. Yes. This question is, if in the middle of eradicating the mites, is it possible to transfer them to someone else or get them from giving a facial, doing hair, using someone's hairbrush, and etc.? So this is something that I actually tackle in the hair and beauty industry like quite a lot. That's one of the fantastic things about the PDT. Now, we can use it to sterilize the equipment of the mites. So anything that's it's a hairdryer, anything that's a comb, that's a brush, that's clippers, anything that's used that could transfer potentially, yes, we can use the PDT, and we know that once we do, the Demodex mites will be killed. They can't survive it, which is fantastic. And so the answer to the question is yes, they can be transferred. So transfer can occur, and that's something we worry about for anyone who's going through treatment that's got a low immune system. And that's why the protocol has been designed in a way that we're applying the PDT at night to kill any that have come in contact. That's why we treat the bedding, which is sheets, we treat the linen, we treat anything where they can cross-contaminate. anything where they can reinfect someone who's essentially limiting those population densities with the correct protocol and the correct product. So Ungex is a complete solution, so it will work. Follow the protocol. Bear in mind, cross-contamination is something that's been taken into account by the research and development team. And yes, we know that using the PDT in these ways, that's why we've designed it so that we're treating the bedding. We're taking the bedding into account. We've taken all these things into account, and there's protocol that's worked up. So there isn't something that's covered in the protocol guide. Please, guys, hit us up with questions about it, and we'll do our best to answer. I've got another one that's come in. So electric problems with heart rate. This is a question about the HFI, and someone stating that they can't use it. Can you please leave this question on? I'm going to address it, or what I'll do is I'll email you directly about the HFI. If you're unable to use the HFI, we'll maybe be able to give you some other advice what you can do alternatively. What I'd suggest is, yes, we can still kill the Demodex mites. Now, the problem is we're not going to be able to get subdermally as quickly as we'd like to be able to target them in those areas. I'm going to write to you directly myself. Actually, I'll do it before I leave the office today. Please just stand on me. I'm going to address that further. I'll speak to one of the other consultants as well. We'll see if we can come up with a running solution for you. So yes, just touching back on eradicating mites and cross-contamination. So the PDT is the thing that we advise. It's what we use, and it's what we advise for the hair and beauty industry. And it's something that's actually becoming quite prevalent in Australia, in Iran, and actually in the States at the moment. So that's all positive. The other question that's in relation to that is, what about the home, such as carpets and so. Yes, the mites can survive in the carpets and in the furniture, and like I said before, and they can only survive for that 52-hour period. So we can apply PDT to those areas as well. That's something that we can do, or we can apply the PDT to us. So the real answer is going through the treatment in the correct way, following the protocol, being in touch with your consultants. Only worry about cross-contamination in relation to someone who's got the lower immune system or someone who's going through treatment. And if you're the one going through treatment with the lower immune system, then follow the protocol strictly, applying the PDT at nighttime, and just get in contact with your consultants if you want to mix it up or do anything else. So that's about all the time I've got time for. The question about the HFI I'll answer today before I leave the office. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Please remember, we've got the 2-for-1 special on at the moment. It's the end of financial year special. It's going to be over on the 1st of July. So there's only a few orders left. It was only for the first 100. I'm not sure exactly how many. So they're selling out all the time. So any product that you order, you'll get 2 bundles, even the essential kits. It's available on all Ungex stuff. The only thing that's not in collaboration with the HFI. So if you order a bundle 1, you'll receive the second in product. You won't receive a second HFI. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Please remember to hit the like and hit the subscribe button. And I will see you guys in the US Monday evening next week. And the guys in Australia, or Eastern Standard Time, I'll see you on Tuesday for the next live video. All right, thanks, guys. Cheers. Bye.